premiumbeat.com.
Starting in 2017, residents of Mukuru, one of the largest informal settlements in Nairobi, Kenya, worked with the local government to plan infrastructure improvements. This included crucial investments in water, sanitation, roads, storm drains, health, and education. Known locally as the SPA, it is an example of a true co-planning process. Work was undertaken together by government, residents, and their civil society partners. This empowered residents to make planning decisions that have improved their resilience to climate change. Community participation is given much lip service but little bite. Meaningful participation requires sustained engagement by government. Communities must be at the center of planning from start to finish. This is essential for several reasons. Many residents will have experienced evictions and political exclusions for years. Without their buy-in from the start, they will likely resist and even hinder the process. The challenges in informal settlement are context-specific. Residents best understand the interdependent challenges they face. Plans by outsiders will not adequately address residents' needs or aspirations. They could also push the vulnerable even further to the margins. Maintenance of infrastructure can also be challenging and costly for local governments. Community ownership is essential for creating local governance systems to maintain infrastructure. Upgrading should build more than just infrastructure. Resilience demands investment in local leadership and community capacities and livelihoods.
I think if SPA was being led by outsiders, most of the things we have got, we couldn't have got them. Since outsiders don't know what we are going through, they don't know what we need.
Communities do not have the resources or capacity to plan alone, and they also need public funding to build services. In Mukuru, residents worked with the Nairobi City Government, the Urban Poor Federation, Muungano wa Wanavijiji, and their partners, the Akiba Mashinani Trust and Slum Dwellers International Kenya. Several strategies ensured meaningful community participation in and ownership of planning in Mukuru. The first strategy is engaging residents by speaking to their urgent needs. They may have little capacity for or interest in participating otherwise. In Mukuru, this included sanitation and insecure land tenure. It is also essential to provide immediate, short-term benefits to build confidence in the planning process.
For a very long period of time, the people of our slums have been lacking the basic services that they should be getting from their own government. So due to the problems that the common mwananchi were facing, it's what made the people to push the SPA to materialize.
The second strategy is mobilizing residents through data collection practices. These include community mapping, settlement profiles, and enumerations. Community-led data collection provided the evidence needed for planning in Mukuru. It also informed residents about upcoming planning activities and built trust in the process.
Ni vizuri kwanza wakianzia wahesabu wafanye mapping kwanza, ile ya kujua how many stretch owners do they have in the specific area and also the number of tenants. It is also good they will know what they have in terms of infrastructure, whether they have government facilities, schools, hospitals, and the rest. They will be able to identify what they have so that they can note what they don't have. Number 3, they will be able to bring those people together. Then they start negotiation, including the local government, so that can help the people to come together.
Data collected by residents empowered them to negotiate with the Nairobi city government. It also documented their experiences with environmental hazards to assess their climate change risk. Most importantly, residents began to understand their challenges collectively instead of individually. This enabled them to speak together during negotiations and work together during planning. The third strategy is organizing residents so that everyone is represented. This ensures plans will represent everyone's needs and aspirations. In Mukuru, over 450 residents, mostly women and youth, were trained as community mobilizers. They organized the community planning forums and championed the SPA through patient dialogue. They also mediated conflicts and informed local officials of progress. All households were invited to participate through a novel household-level representation system. Mukuru residents called it Tujuane Tujengane, meaning, let's know each other so we build each other. Every household sent one representative to speak for them in a cell of 10 households. Each cell, in turn, selected a representative to speak for them in a cluster of up to 100 households. Each cluster then selected representatives to speak for them in planning forums with government officials. Forums were held in groupings of 1 to 3 neighborhoods called segments. Representatives were also responsible for communicating what they learned in segment and cluster meetings so that all households stayed informed.
Our work was to also give information. So they also say information is power. It was to inform the community that kuna SPA inakuja, na imekuwa gazetted as Mukuru as a special planning area. Number 2 pia ilikuwa ni kufanya door-to-door campaign, kuhamasisha watu kwamba hii kitu iko na inatuhusu sisi kama wanajamii. So that was also our work. Number 3 pia ilikuwa ni kuorganize hizo home cells na kueducate kwamba SPA inakuja na itasaidia hivi na hivi na hivi kwa community.
Once mobilized and organized, Mukuru residents worked with the Nairobi city government and civil society partners to co-plan improvements for water, sanitation, roads, health and education. Unlike planners and engineers, residents do not experience challenges sector by sector. It is also not feasible to address challenges sector by sector. For example, public health cannot be addressed without addressing water and sanitation. It was therefore crucial to develop integrated plans to tackle interdependent challenges. Residents held more than 250 neighborhood planning forums, and with the local government, they also held a series of 114 formal consultations. These included planning and validation meetings.
We had a consortium, and those were supposed to make people understand what SPA is all about. So we had consortiums and we had community members. We also had the elders, and then we had people from the county. We had professionals from different sectors. So we had people from water and sanitation, we had people from the environment department, we had people from the education department from Nairobi County.
Co-planning ensures more than improvements in infrastructure and services. It also builds new local capacities and empowers residents.
Hii kazi ya SPA tunafanya katika kijiji imenifanya mimi niweze kukua, lakini saa hii naweza sema ya kwamba imenijenga, maana nimepata nafasi ya kukaa na county government, nimeongelesha county au watu wakaweza kujua ya kwamba katika vijiji kuna wamama ambao hawataki kurudi nyuma. Tukihitaji change, tunahitaji kuleta change.
Kwa hiyo mafunzo ilikuwa mingi, na pale SPA imempower watu wengi katika community. Hata wengine huko walikuwa wamenyamaza tukianza, lakini tukimaliza walikuwa walimu wazuri sana. Tunakuta mtu anampea idea, anaenda anafundisha mwingine anapata. Kwa hiyo katika hiyo process tukaona community imeelimika, na at the same time tukaona tumeopen up, ama SPA imeopen up mind za watu wengi. Kwa hiyo walileta ile cooperation ya implementers na the structure owners, na at the end of the day tukaona barabara zimefunguliwa. Na hatuja sita kuongeza SPA sababu mambo na disaster kulikuwa kunachomeka kila siku na kila wakati mioto ilikuwa inawaka na moto ikiwaka inachoma. Lakini saa hii tunaona baada ya barabara kutengenezwa hata moto ikishika tunaona mazima moto zinaingia Diria kwa muda mfupi sana. SPA itakuwa mfano mzuri wa kuigwa kutoka Mukuru kwa Rube na dunia mzima.
In the lead up to the Kenyan general elections 2022, Mukuru residents wrote a People's Manifesto. It outlined the goals of the Mukuru upgrading plan and asked local candidates to publicly pledge support for the plan. Many local candidates signed the manifesto, including the Nairobi governor. The manifesto demonstrates the importance of co-planning. It would not exist today if outside consultants had done conventional participatory consultations, and the Mukuru upgrading plan would be collecting dust in a government office instead of being implemented.
The Mukuru people have also now demanded for their rights. Yes, I think to me that is also another, it's actually a power, it's actually a force. It's actually, the community is actually a force to reckon with. Yes, yeah, because they understand, they have been part of the process, and now they are actually even putting the aspiring political leaders to task and saying that whoever wants to be leader here, this SPA must be approved, we must see development. I think they have actually demanded for change. Yes.
Lessons in community-led planning from the Mukuru SPA hold much promise for locally led, inclusive climate adaptation in cities across the world.
Taita kufanya SPA wafanye bila uoga na watumie ile process tulitumia na wa involve community yao yote na waongee na one voice. Wakiongea na one voice watakuwa na nguvu. Wasikubali kutawanywa na wale wako na pesa, lakini mwananchi wa kawaida a participate fully na waongee na one voice.